Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the recap of Temptation Island Season 3, Episode 7. Now, Chris, we start off with the post kind of bonfire scenes with the boys, and old Tom's feeling a bit sorry for himself there, isn't he?
Yeah, now, look, not a fan of Chelsea whatsoever, but what is Tom getting upset for, Dave? He was rubbing fucking sun cream into some girl's arse.
Brown sun cream.
Exfoliate, yeah. He's been really getting into every crevice there on that girl. And how can he really, as much as I think Chelsea's playing the game, she's been waiting for an opportunity to do something, they're as bad as each other. Yeah. I think morally as a couple, they're just a pair of fucking dickheads, Dave. I don't like either of them, even being honest. And I think it's purely for the TV. And we've questioned, are they even together? I've read loads of things this week on social media, and we were tagged last week on our Facebook page, which our good friend Charlene runs. Sorry, Charlene, we've been forgetting about that the last few weeks. So get over to Facebook, guys. Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast before we carry on. And she promotes it over there, and really appreciate what she does, and we have a good discussion. But there's been a lot of articles, Dave, about is anybody even together, or were it anybody together when they went into the actual thing in? And I just don't know with Tom and Chelsea. I'm just bored of fucking listening to the crap, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's a lot of chatter, isn't there? Because we speculated at the start, it's like they've been together a year, but the way they're behaving is like they're this bickering old couple that have been together for decades, and their behaviour doesn't really indicate that they're still in that year-long relationship, half of which at least must have been in lockdown. The only nagging doubt that I've got, nagging being an interesting word that I'm choosing to use there, is like if you were going into this as Chelsea, why would you choose a character that is a complete see you next Tuesday? And for Tom, why would he be, here is my character brief, sleazy motherfucker. I don't know why they would choose these personas for themselves if they're going to be completely fake about it. Because the only motivation they must have to do that, to be fake, is so that they can build up a kind of social media career, or, I think they're both in LA, aren't they? Both aspiring actors, I think I read somewhere, or at least one of them is. Well, why would you behave like this? That's the nagging doubt that I have, because I don't think either is particularly endearing. Like you say, they're both as bad as each other, just in different ways. I think the thing that I'm saying they're as bad as each other. The thing that puts me off Chelsea a little bit more is that she doesn't acknowledge anything that she's doing wrong at all. And we talk about people growing and stuff and learning things about themselves. Well, she hasn't learned anything about herself at all. She just projects negative feelings onto other people. Blake, he fucking is fake, isn't he? Let's face it.
Time.
I mean, she'll get a rude awakening at some point, and she had it right when she called him out as being fake a few weeks ago. But let's pretend for a second that he isn't. Well, he's just going to be an arsehole in her eyes in a short amount of time anyway. So he'll have thought he's won. If he gets to the end, they leave the island together, and then she'll just start treating him like shit as well. So, I think at least Tom, as sleazy as he is, seems to be at least making the noises that, I'm learning stuff about myself, and, I'm embracing this part of myself. I thought, not to go too far into the episode too quick, but, in his video message later on when he's going, "Hey, baby doll," I thought that's a bit fucking creepy, innit? I just don't know what it was, just the way he said it was like, that's a bit weird. But yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm actually, 50-50. Are they a fake couple, or are they just a couple of see you next Tuesdays? Those are the only two options, by the way.
Yeah. No. I think you're right. I think Chelsea very much is living a double standard, isn't she? Tom is. Yeah. He's not caring. I know he's not kissed anybody yet. I mean, I suppose we've got to talk. I know it's jumping across the episode, but it is about this couple, Dave. But finally, fucking Blake the fake. Hey, how like I did that, Dave? Blake the fake. That's his name. Blake the fake. Actually put it on her, and Chelsea reciprocated the kiss, and they kissed a couple of times. And Tom, she was like, Tom, who is that guy? So she's not got a leg to stand on. It will be interesting because Tom seemed to be the one initially who was more interested than she was in, like, even Blake at that point, and something switched for her the way she's just changed. So the fact that Chelsea's now done this, I don't really think she's got much of an argument if she sees Tom. Once Tom sees her kissing, I think all bets will be off, Dave. I think he'll go straight for it.
I think next week might be interesting. I think Tom might already have had the appropriate kick in the balls that he needs to actually just go and do something. Because he might as well. Again, sticking on them, right? We'd seen the kiss. She'd kissed Blake. And even on the way to go into the video message, she's just like, well, he doesn't respect our relationship, or he doesn't do this or do that. It's as if she's got amnesia. She's forgotten completely about her own situation and about the hypocrisy of it all. She's just basically, Tom's an arsehole, and that's the start, middle, and end of the conversation. Yeah.
And it's weird, isn't it, Dave? Because you've got, usually in a couple, one of them is a redeemable character, isn't there? Someone's got something that you're interested in, but I've got fucking no horse in this race with these two. I don't care whether they're together or not. Whoever gets with them after this is going to be in a heap of shit, Dave. An absolute heap of shit. So, yeah, I agree.
I keep going back to it, but that's why I think, or I'm leaving the door open on why they're not actually fake. Because why would you behave like that? Unless they just are really good actors, and they're just choosing a persona that is completely unlikable, and I just couldn't see why you'd do that. I tell you what, so moving on from them slightly, one couple, Chris, has turned me around completely. So going back to our episode 1, I thought, within a couple of episodes, I thought Julian would have cheated. Given his history and everything, I thought that was it. He's completely turned me around. He seems like a really, really nice guy. And actually, when Tom was obviously upset and everything, and you can always see in the car journey on the way back, he's always the one who's giving the other lads a bit of a pep talk and whatever. He just seems like an all-round good guy to me.
He does, to be fair, Dave. And I think that leads into sort of with him, and it's his redemption thing, but I still think Kristen, she's a lovely girl, Dave. She is, and she's done nothing for you to say, oh, what's she up to? She's done absolutely nothing. She's been there to see what Julian does, and I think she's using it the right way, as in she's not tempted, but she doesn't know whether Julian is, and that's where I think this whole experiment for her is he knows he can trust her and she can trust herself. At the moment, anyway, I've not seen anything from her to suggest she would cheat, but she wanted to make sure Julian is a man of his word, considering he's cheated a couple of times in the past. But then obviously Julian, he's with, is it Maya, the girl who's she's very similar to Kristen. She's a bit of a firecracker, that Latino spirit about her. Davey's got to stay well away from that girl, because what was she going on about? She just fucking lost it, didn't she?
Well, you tell me how this scene unfolded. Because I'm not entirely sure I understood exactly what was happening in that kitchen.
She said, I can't remember the girl's name. The blonde girl made 5 chicken wings because she was waiting, and she just kicked off about it. And I'm like, but why? It's not Big Brother where you're on rations every week or something. You've got to do a challenge or you're on rice and beans. They're obviously well fed and there's a gym there and everything. It's like Love Island, isn't it? There's always a stream of food and stuff. So I couldn't work that out. And then I just can't keep it in. And I'm like, so you've been fucking blagging Julian for weeks now, hasn't she? She's just been playing a character because she's obviously an absolute firecracker.
I'm going to sit on Maya's side a little bit more on this. Because what I think was happening was, I mean, between her and Julian, they were making food for everyone. That's what they were doing. And then someone came along and then just started picking away at the food that was already there. But I couldn't tell if they were just taking food that was already there or started cooking. If they just started cooking, fair enough. She's gone way overboard there. But, I mean, I thought someone was just coming in taking the food, which was in the middle of being prepared. In which case I thought, fair play. I could see myself in the kitchen getting a bit grumpy about that. But I tell you what else it did, Chris. It seemed to be a red flag for Julian, for sure. But this was a mirror of what Kristen did in, was it the first or the... Yes. I think it might have been the second episode where, you know, all the lads were being a bit boisterous and what have you, and she was like, you know, we have to live here, so you're all going to clean up now. So I thought it was funny. They did almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's nothing there for Julian. She's a little bit flirty with him, not pushing it too much. He certainly isn't, Dave. And even later on, you know, he wasn't interested. But I think one thing I want to talk about, and it's a big thing, I think, as well, which would explain a lot of this, and it may actually get Kendall off the hook slightly for what's happened. So we've been really critical because you're trusting that they're a couple, that what we see on screen is genuine. You know, they have been a couple. Now, we got tagged, didn't we, on our Facebook page, one of our listeners saying that basically Kendall, before he went into the actual place, realised they were casting for it, then rang round a lot of his ex-girlfriends to see who would want to go in with him on Temptation Island to raise basically the social media profile. And that, Dave, I'm not saying it's not that, because she's obviously, you know, Erica's been really upset, hasn't she? You know, completely upset with what he's done, and we've all took it at face value. You know, he slept with someone, he's had a threesome. We couldn't understand his cheek of basically saying, I don't give a fuck, you know, I'm here, I'm single, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Playing up to the cameras, you know, he's really been enjoying himself. She hasn't. And then now it's revealed that they may actually be a fake couple where they were never together when they came in. They've been together in the past, but it's basically, that might be why she's not that bothered. However, I'm still skeptical because she still looks like she would probably take him back, which I find bizarre. So what would you think about all that, Dave? Because it may explain his behaviour.
I'm probably 50-50 on that. I just don't know why you would go into something like this and be a complete arsehole. I mean, we're going to read out an email in a bit, aren't we? And it's going to talk a little bit about kind of what Kendall's doing and how that is abuse. And I think last week I was wobbling a bit. I was like, is it really abuse or is he just being an arsehole? And, you know, it's down to Erica. She should just really walk away from it. He's being a cock. I don't know why you would behave like that. Because what he's doing, and you see it even more on tonight's show, he's just out there to fill his fucking boots, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is what Jay from The In-Betweeners, in his head, actually is. He's just fucking going there. He's getting it wherever he can. He does not give a fuck. But he's on a complete hall pass because him and Erica didn't make any rules.
Yeah.
It's like, again, if they were in on this thing together, him and Erica, well, surely, you know, she might as well have a bit of fun. You know, if it's part of a deal to just raise your social media profile, then, you know, she's acting like she's kind of numb to it all. But then you see these quieter moments where she's crying on her own in the bedroom and stuff. I think she's just trying to put on a front. And, to me, I'd say it's 50-50. I'm more, I think, 60-40. 60 in favour that they are a real kind of couple, abusive at that, but a real one, and 40 that they are just fake and playing characters.
Yeah, look, I still think that he's blagging. He is cheating, Dave. I do, but it was a really interesting article because it does. Even me, Mr. Skeptical, I'm like, hang on a minute, because she has been a bit too cool. And I said last week it is a form of abuse. You said the same. We've had an email about which we'll read out in a bit. It is bad because even tonight's episode, she was still wavering and still almost making excuses for it. I know. I know, obviously, we've got the message we'll talk about a bit later, but I don't know. I just can't understand her. She should just be putting a full stop on what his behaviour, and then that's the end of it. Goodbye. See you later. I'm better than this. I don't deserve this. And even his dialogue sort of like, as if like he's doing her a favour by cheating on her. I think he's brilliant. He's got some nerve.
He's got some fucking cojones. That's one way to put it. But I don't know it. I think he's got that sociopathic gene. I think, think about it. He's going on about, I'll fire someone in a second or whatever he said the other week. About how he runs his own business. Erica, when it comes down to the video messages, she didn't send anything. And he seemed genuinely shocked by that.
Yeah,
it's like, are you fucking simple or something? What is going on in your head?
Yeah.
She only has to have seen a fraction of what you've been getting up to. But in his video message, he's saying, he's fully committed to this experience, and I'm learning a lot, I'm growing a lot. The usual bullshit, Chris. I think we should come up with a bullshit card for these things as well, being on a journey and growing. And
I know, it's fucking nonsense, innit? Oh, I've been through some real trials in my life, and this feels like it's the journey that I need to take. No, Kendall, the only thing that you're fucking raising is your fucking what's in your pants, my friend, because he isn't having the time of his life. And also, Dave, let's talk about that, actually. What was going on with the threesome? Because Alexis all of a sudden just went cold. She's like, I'm not saying that I sound a bit too enthusiastic about the threesome, but I was like, they were all dressed up, want the toga party. They're in the hot tub. He's sort of encouraging it. He obviously likes watching, and there's been action there. And she just switched off, didn't she? And she's like, no, I'm out. And I'm thinking, and I couldn't work out. I'm not saying she has to do a threesome every time for the cameras or whatever, but it was a real turn all of a sudden because she's been really like, I thought she's been like quite in control of that situation, and she's just like, no, I'm out. I've had enough. Now, whether she's going to bin him off, I don't know, but I thought that was really interesting as well.
Yeah, and I'd be really interested, like, what the kind of time scale is on this thing, because to me, it's almost like it's a natural thing that's going to happen, isn't it? Because, I mean, you've got Alexis, and then it's Nicole, isn't it? Who's the bisexual one. So Nicole seems to be kind of okay with it being a throuple kind of situation. Whereas I think for Alexis, it was just something like, it was a bit fun, bit of experimentation. And they were both actually on separately, but they were on the Reality Steve podcast last week. So it's interesting to hear them. They couldn't give out any spoilers, but there's obviously a needle now between them two. So something's obviously going to happen. They couldn't allude to, but I don't think there's any love lost between them two now. But yeah, I think Alexis is developing genuine feelings. So she's moving past that kind of stage where it's just all about the lust. And now she's getting actual feelings, and she just wasn't feeling it on that particular night.
We've all been there, Dave. Not in a threesome, but anyway. But yeah. I better say that very quickly.
No, but I do think, and at the end of the day, like, I do just genuinely think Nicole is there for a bit of fun. That's it. And when we'd had the whole discussion and she was getting a bit bit teary when Corey chose someone else, and she was mouthing off in the kitchen. She was obviously disgusted that he chose someone else, and she loves falling in love, and it's like danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Stay away. But I think she's a good pairing for Kendall, quite honestly, because he's not there to find love or anything. He's just there, what was it he said? To fully commit to the experience. Which is a different way of saying he's there to fucking shag whatever he can.
I was going to say, when he goes out and he fucking nails somebody, does he just go, it was all part of the evening. It was just part of my experience of going out. It was all contained in there. It doesn't mean I don't love you. What a load of bullshit.
I've grown as a person since, though. I shrank a bit after that.
He's the guy. He's the guy who comes into school, doesn't he? And the dog's at his homework and stuff. Dave. He's always, and he's dead convincing. He's dead convincing with people that he's actually in the he's right sort of thing. So,
absolutely,
fucking nonsense, absolute narcissist. So yeah, nonsense. But moving on, Dave. So we get the messages now. So we get the little iPad, don't we, which she sent up. So the first one's Erin. And you know what, Dave? I don't know what was going on, but I didn't think Corey did anything wrong. I thought his message was really good. Yeah, I know she was upset he didn't say I loved her, but I thought he was giving her all the reassurances she wanted out of their relationship. He's not cheated. Yeah, he's talked to a few girls. He's been the odd one-liner there about him wanting to be treated better and blah, blah, blah. And she's saying she has to grow as a person. But I don't know about you, Dave, but I could not see what she was actually moaning at.
I just thought it was another brilliant example where one person does one thing a particular way and some other person does exactly the same, but that is shit.
Yeah.
So she was upset that Corey didn't say that he loved her anywhere in the message. Well, you know what, Chris? Neither did fucking she. She didn't say she loved him. So presumably they have to record these messages and then, they get to see them, but they've already recorded them. So she was giving him shit for not saying he loved her. Well, she didn't say she loved him. So it's like, it's one rule for one and one for the other, isn't it? Just another Hippocratic? That's not the right thing. Hypocrisy? I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. She was just being a hypocrite, wasn't she? And so, I thought Corey said exactly the right thing. It wasn't enough for her. I do think I had Erin down, quite honestly, to cheat quite early on in this. She does seem to have had that wake-up call. She's definitely had the opportunity. You could see, what was the guy's name? They had to get rid of Shaquille, didn't they? He was the one that, and she was getting quite upset there. But he would have been, first in line if she was giving off any signals. But I found it a bit creepy. It was the other footballer, the guy she took on the first date. They were kind of having a bit of banter, but he kept trying to move in closer, and she kept backing away. Did you notice that bit?
No, I didn't see that. No,
I can't remember. They were messing around, but he was just trying to move in, into her personal space, and she kept backing off. So I think for her, she's had that wake up call already. She's learned a bit about herself. She does want to focus on Corey, and so I think he's probably gained a little bit in self-confidence as well. He was being treated like shit and felt like that's what he deserved. He didn't feel like he deserved anyone like Erin. So he's done his own kind of growing. I want to avoid the bullshit bingo, but I can't. So I think she's a bit upset, but I think she'll get over that. So yeah, I think those two will leave right now.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we got we've talked extensively about Kendall and Erica, but the top and tail of it was he sent her a message. He was blown away. She didn't. Unbelievable. I think she did the right thing. Maybe I'm doing her a disservice, some of the things I said earlier. But then you've got Kristen gets one from Julian. And Dave, what more do you want? And there's still a massive trust issue there. But I thought his message to her was bang on. I think, he's so committed to the relationship. And I think she is as well. But she's just apprehensive and Freddie hurt by what he's done. And he'll have to really gain a trust again. But I didn't think they'd last, but I think they're going to come out of this, like you'd say earlier on, they're going to come out of this probably the strongest couple.
Yeah, and we'd heard initially about Julian's cheating. Again, they've been together for a long time, haven't they? So I can't help but wonder, was this like a high school thing? Was this something that happened early on in their relationship? Or all the signs are at the moment, because of that cheating, that's the first problem. That's probably the root cause. But then, all this kind of trauma that they've had in their lives, the fact that their families are so close as well, creates that added kind of pressure when you've got your own doubts as well. So it seems like Kristen's really the one who's kind of come around to that way of thinking that, actually, you know what? Being surrounded by all these single douchebags has helped me realise that Julian's not that bad.
Oh, Dave, I like that. I do like that. I mean,
look, there's not many catches there, is there? Really?
No, there isn't. To be fair, I don't know. I agree. I've not any of the guys. I've not seen anything from them to suggest. I think Shaq was the only one who come across as quite genuine out of all the guys. That's even the ones who are still in there, Dave. I still find that bizarre. She got rid of him, unless she got rid of him because of the temptation of it all. I'm not sure that she thought she may do something, so she had to get rid of him. But he was genuinely upset. She was. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But Dave, come on. We're on to Chelsea and Tom now. Fucking hell. What is going on with these two pair of fucking dildos? I know we talked to them at the start, but fucking hell. It's just, nobody's buying what these two are selling at all, are they? It's just bullshit. I'm not buying any of this now. I'm sorry, I'm not. I just do. I know you said it at the start, and we've all said it. I'm not. It was so fake at the end. It was unbelievable.
Again, I don't know why you would choose to be, either of those characters. That's why I don't think it's fake. Or I'm on the fence at it being fake. I just think that, he's all gushing and everything. He's like, hey, I've embraced this side of myself, but been missing you and whatever. And she's just like, I'm not going to look backwards. I'm only looking forwards. In other words, I found someone here. That's what she's saying. So yeah, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people out there who are calling it all fake, but I still don't see what your motivation for being that person would be.
Yeah, that's true. No, honestly, Dave, it's good to have that other flip of the coin. Now, Dave, we're going to read out the email I've had from Alison, and it's a corker. It's the first email. Pull up a chair, guys, because it's a really lovely email. It's in relation to what we said last week with Kendall and Erica. So the email's entitled, Love Your Coverage of Temptation Island and Love Island. Hi, Chris and Dave. You guys are the best. I recently discovered the world of reality TV, and I've been having great fun binging Love Island and listening to your recaps after each episode. Your podcast is hilarious. Sadly, my first email to you is a long-ass pseudo-essay that was inspired by the serious topic of relationship abuse. I was in an abusive relationship myself and also grew up with an abusive parent, so I've thought about this topic way too much. I agree with Chris that Kendall cheating on Erica is openly, in this case, a form of abuse. It fits perfectly into the abusive cycle. He has clearly escalated his bad behaviour repeatedly in the past and gotten her to believe she deserves to be treated the way he treats her and to blame herself for her reactions to it. So whether his plan works out in the long run or not, this is my honest read on how Kendall expects this to go. Yes, this is going to sound insane because it is. Kendall is using the no rules excuse to purposely hurt and humiliate Erica as much as possible. Of course, while having his fun in the sun, #single life. Then he will put on a show to get her to deny the validity of her emotions and perhaps even apologise for how hurt and manipulative she was by not being honest about no rules in order to reconcile with him. This will reinforce his I'm rational and you're emotional BS while also breaking down her self-confidence even further. She'll feel guilty for every breakthrough she has had and think she was disloyal to him. He may even make the point that she was more disloyal to him because he didn't say disrespectful and hurtful things about her motivations. Once she takes him back, she will be even more isolated from her friends and family who will judge our relationship based on an edited reality TV show. And don't support your decisions as an adult. He will be so proud of her for her growth, which will all be about placing logic over emotions. And she'll be such a special and unique woman who understands things on a deeper level than the haters. Very true, actually, Alison. Abusers tend to create an emotional dynamic that functions similar to an addiction. Love bombing their victim and then denying that love, so the victim desperately does whatever they can to feel that feeling again. Periodically, they will let the person feel that love again to keep them hooked, but the rest of the time they make them miserable because it increases the desperation for the good feelings and the powerful feeling of catharsis when things are good. The second Erica allows herself to adopt Kendall's frame of events, she's going to go straight back to him. There's a reason why victims of abuse repeatedly go back to their abusers. All it takes is one slip and they're back in that cycle. Because if you accept the abuser's version of events, even for a moment, there are a lot of very powerful and compelling emotions that come with that. This is why, sadly, I gave it about a 6 out of 10 chance she would go back to him at the final bonfire. But more importantly, a 9 out of 10 chance she goes back to him at some point after the show is at least once. She's making good progress, and I think the show is actually good for her, but she needs a little longer than a month and needs to channel less numbness and more rage. If she's going to be able to hold on to her frame of reality. Anyway, cheers to you and rooting for Erica to defy the odds and leave Mr. Rabbit veneers in the dust. Alison. Amazing email. Thank you, Alison, and so honest as well. We really appreciate it. Brilliant email. Just to clarify, you did say hilarious when you meant actually me, didn't you? Not Dave. Yeah, I thought so. No, but thank you. So good. So good.
That's absolutely brilliant, Chris. And everyone else, if you want to get in your thoughts, we don't have too many episodes now, so get your thoughts in on what the couples are. We've called out at least 50% of the couples now for potentially being fake. Let us what you know.
So, and big thanks today, guys, to our Patreons. So, Lucky Lulu Green, Kent Gustafsson, and the wonderful Lauren are all Patreons today. Lulu Green and Ken are our producers, and Lauren has bought us another coffee, so thank you so much. If you want to contact us on social media, at CD Realitycast. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. So the season's coming towards the end, guys. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks ever so much, Chris, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye now.